Gentlemen, we used to hear a lot about sermons and stones. And I remembered that when I came across this picture of a tight wire walker. It reminded me that every successful venture calls for balance. I'm going to talk to you about something you know plenty about. Some of you could give me a lot of pointers. Some of you have. Because I'm going to talk about merchandising, selling things. It's an interesting thing, isn't it, this business of selling? A dealer sells new cars and new trucks, used cars and used trucks. He sells parts, accessories, and service. And the one aim he keeps in mind is to make money. Moving goods is any merchant's prime effort. If any part of his stock stands still, it ties him up, handicaps him, puts a penalty on the whole operation. He has to keep things moving. Over many years, certain very fundamental things about rapid turnover have been discovered, and smart merchandisers are always popping up with new, unusual methods for getting the most out of a dealer's working capital. But the most fundamental of all the principles is balance. If the various operations of a business get out of balance, it's impossible to realize the most profit. This particular film is dedicated to the kind of merchandising that the smartest, the most astute Dodge merchants are using to maintain rapid turnover and to ensure maximum new car and truck volume. Interviews with hundreds of successful Dodge dealers point clearly to the fact that success follows from a proper balance between used car and new car activity. Let's look in on a couple Dodge dealers who are talking things over. Jim Blake does a splendid new and used car job and maintains a 30-day turnover. He's talking to Bill Smith, a dealer who isn't doing so outstanding a job.
Well, Bill, I can't say that I've got any used car problem. That's the wrong word. I've got a used car business. Yes, in fact, as a new car dealer, I welcome trade-ins. You know, of course, that we wouldn't be in this business long if our customers couldn't trade in their old cars. And in just the same way, we wouldn't be in this business if a big cross-section of the buying public wasn't clamoring for our used cars and used trucks. They round out our market and make a balanced operation possible.
I'm afraid I've given more attention to merchandising new cars and trucks than I have used, though the same merchandising principles certainly apply to both.
Well, that's natural enough until you stop to think of it this way, Bill. You see, everybody loves a motor car, and almost every man, woman, and child is a potential buyer. The desire is just the same whether it expresses itself in the purchase of a used car at $150 or a new car at $950. So we dealers ought to look at it in this light. It is our responsibility as dealers in transportation to see that each type of buyer gets his money's worth when he comes to us for new or used cars. After all, Bill, people and their habits don't change much. We can mold people to our ends. It's our job as merchants to do so. We can set up to sell them what they want in used cars, just as we do in our merchandising plans to sell new cars.
Most of you men have discovered for yourselves that the same fundamentals that govern successful new car selling will work out in used car selling. And these fundamentals are part and parcel of all Dodge merchandising plans. Dodge dealers have worked hand in hand with the factory in many such plans. The factory has built and placed advertising, and the dealers have tied in with copy of their own. The results have been the happy ones you expect when everyone works in unison. Let's say that you're thinking ahead in regard to your late fall and winter business. That means you're thinking of manpower, of display, of advertising, and all that it takes to do a good job. First, let's look at manpower on your used car operation. It's easy to tell how many men you really need, and we're taking it for granted that you're doing a good job on new cars and trucks. Divide the number of used cars you ought to sell in the next 2 months by the average per man for the past 2 months. That's the answer. Of course, alert merchants select their used car salesmen in the same careful way they do their new car salesmen, and thus they assure their productivity by giving them proper training, equipment, and direction. You're probably aware of the fact that some merchants make more money than others do who sell the same number of units. Very often the difference is in the caliber of men in the used car division. Let's listen in again while Jim Blake explains why he takes great pains in hiring used car salesmen.
You see, Bill, good men won't spend their time trying to sell me on a lower price. They'll put in their time selling the customer on the value that makes our price a fair one. It pays out, Bill. I doubled my turnover when I started hiring really good used car men. Another thing, Bill, how do you buy your used cars? Do you make a fair appraisal and then sell that appraisal? Or do you let the customers sell you their used cars? We can't afford to be on the wrong side of the counter at that stage. There's enough plus value in the Dodge, the Plymouth, and the Dodge truck so that our salesman shouldn't have to buy a prospect's old car. Our merchandising thinking has to start right where the old car edges its way into our books.
Gentlemen, that's right. Look at this chart of used car carrying costs. A $50 unit costs the dealer $7.50 a month. A $200 unit costs $12 a month. And a $500 unit costs the dealer $21 a month. In 90 days, a $200 car costs the dealer $36 to carry, and its market value will be less. That's why alert dealers put a price on it today and put merchandising behind it to sell it today.
Jim, you've really given me something to think about. Say, what's the first thing you do when you take in a used car or used truck?
Well, Bill, I'll tell you. If it's a junker, I junk it and forget it whether it's a car or a truck. If it's a tough looker that can't be brightened up without excessive cost, I put a bargain price on it and get it out fast. And if it's a pretty good vehicle, then I make it look worth more than the price I intended to put on it. I give it the 3 W's: water, work, wax, and do whatever is needed to put it in good mechanical shape. Appearance? Say, I've found that appearance above all else sells used vehicles. And that kind of reconditioning costs me less than any other work I do. Many a time a 50-cent polish has put a $50 better price on a used car for me and turned the sale for me the very day the car went on display. Well, you've seen it happen yourself, haven't you?
I sure have. How much do you do on mechanical reconditioning?
Well, here's how it looks to me. I'm in business to stay. I want repeat business. I expect to sell every used car buyer a new car someday, or another used car. That means I do honest mechanical reconditioning now. It just seems like good business to me.
I string along with that 100%.
Jim Blake surely has the right slant on these things. The man who buys a used car or truck should be treated just as well as a new car buyer. Someday he'll buy another used car or a new car. Dealers need his friendship. Now, let's listen in again on Bill and Jim. Bill's talking.
Say, Jim, can you think of anything else that sells in the millions of dollars to the public every year and gets as little salesmanship put on it as the used motor vehicle?
Well, no, I can't. Too many used car salesmen have the wrong attitude toward the customer. After all, used car buyers are people. They're just like new car buyers, only with less money. Say, Bill, let's step out in your used car park and see if we can learn anything.
Okay, I think one of the boys has a prospect there now.
Here they are in Bill Smith's used car park. They're edging over to listen to the salesman. He's talking to the prospect about a Hudson 8. We may as well listen, too.
Is this Hudson a really satisfactory car for me? What features has it got?
Oh, this job has everything you could ask for. You can see it's in good shape. We fix 'em up.
Yes, it does look good. I mean, though, how is it mechanically?
Fine. We put 'em in good shape. See, got nice rubber all around. Well, you can't go wrong on this job.
Well, Bill, there's your answer. That salesman has no respect for the merchandise and little for the customer.
Honest, Jim, I didn't know I had a man on the lot that bad. I'll certainly clear that up fast. Say, while we're on the subject, where am I wrong on my used trucks? I don't seem to get the play on them that I should.
Well, Bill, the same merchandising principles hold true. The things that move used cars will move used trucks. I always paint my used trucks up in vivid colors. That does a lot of selling in itself. And, Bill, look where you've buried your trucks. They need display, too. Why don't you try moving some of them up front where they can be seen?
Fine, I'll try it.
You see, Bill, used trucks don't bother me any more than used cars do. I hold a meeting every morning, and when I'm through, the boys know what used truck values we're offering. Say, how about hopping into my car and running over to see how some of my boys operate?
Okay.
And here they are over at Jim Blake's used car park. Bill is getting a look at a real used car operation, and we'll listen in while Jim and Bill pick up a sales conversation.
So you think this Studebaker will give me good service?
I'm sure of it, sir. It needed very little done to it when we took it in, and we've done all that was necessary to make it a satisfactory car.
Well, I don't know much about the Studebaker car.
Let me show you in our used car manual what the outstanding features are on this car. Maybe that'll help.
Yes, it would. That's what interests me.
That's what I mean, Bill, by using new car selling methods on used car customers.
I get you. I see you equip your used car men with the Ross Roy used car and used truck sales service, don't you?
Why, certainly, Bill. It gives the used car salesman all the important selling features of every used car or used truck we take in. My salesmen swear by it. I have 3 exclusive used car salesmen, but I remember, too, that my new car and new truck salesmen have to help merchandise used cars and used trucks, and they can't do much of a job without some plan. They'll shirk the job every time if they aren't properly equipped and directed. I make a practice of giving them a list of the names of people from whom they have taken in a used vehicle. I see that they take the car out, clean and reconditioned to the original owner. Very often that owner will suggest a buyer. The way I see it, Bill, we have to carry the whole retail sales procedure right over into our used car selling. I insist on my men using the registration list because I know and you know that the best prospect for any used car is the former buyer of a car of the same make.
I can see I've been slipping up a little. I suppose you have them use the telephone, the postcards, the daily worksheet, all the things that work for us in new car merchandising.
I've discovered that if I put the same sales effort and the same showmanship behind my used vehicle business that I do behind my new car business, I don't have to worry about handling the new cars I need for a profit.
There are a couple dealers who won't be missing many bets when it comes to keeping their used car and new car business in balance. And we know there are hundreds of Dodge dealers like them. That's why for a long time now, advertisements like these have been selling the public on the dependability of Dodge dealers as used car and used truck merchants. Thousands upon thousands of dollars have been put into newspapers, magazines, radio, billboards to build a solid background of public confidence in you as a dependable Dodge used car dealer. You, as a part of the great Dodge merchandising organization, have an ante in that investment. You simply can't afford to miss a step that will ensure the maximum return. And now in just a moment, we'll show you a great Dodge fall and winter used vehicle program and tell you about your part in it.